Good afternoon, Miss.
Hey, how are you doing, Caro?
Everything fine. Thank you, Miss.
I'm glad to hear that. Okay, we're going to wait for the rest students and we're going to have a quick recap. Okay, let's wait a moment, please.
Okay, Miss.
Okay, well, no one else is joining us. Let's do the recap with you, okay? Carolina, you were in classes last Tuesday, no?
Yes.
Okay, but let's just recap really quick, okay? Just a reminder, the reading passage, you can either get 3 passages or 4, okay? If you get 4, it means that you are getting one and score 1, okay? That means that one of them is not going to be graded. So it sounds a little bit unfair, yes. However, that's how it is. No, you either get an score 1 in the reading or in the listening. So that's fine. No, you have to remember that you have to at least use at least 18 minutes per passage. No, the text, no, the reading part. What I wanted to say, sorry. You have to manage your own time. So depending if you get 3 or 4, you always use 18 minutes per each passage. Each passage is going to have a different content, a different topic, I mean. So for instance, one is going to talk about biology, the other one about psychology, the other one about science, I don't know. So for each passage, you have to manage and work the reading and the answers or responding the answers in 18 minutes, no more ni less than that. Okay. Well, yeah, less if you want to. No, yes, that's good, but no more than 18 minutes. Okay. Hi Rosa, welcome back. And we already see what a 700 word passage look like, and you always get 10 questions per each passage. Okay, so it's basically it's organized like that. And the content, it could be either academic or common topics. It really depends. It's all random. But all the information that you need to know or heard or learn, if you want to put it that way, it's going to be there. No, you're going to get like an introductory passage. Okay. Hey guys, let me close something because I'm getting that my internet is slow. Let me just close one thing. All right. So so that for that part, the content, no? And what else? It's important that we learn to manage your time. It's very, very important. Like I mentioned already, guys. Welcome, Andrea and Fabiola. Andrea, I'm going to send you a message, a private message in a moment. Okay. So it's important that you guys learn to manage your own time. Like I mentioned before, it should take at least, well, no more than 18 minutes per passage. Each passage is going to be about a different topic, that it could be either an academic topic or like just general knowledge topic. It's important that you always go or answer the questions in order, no? Do not skip any questions. Let me show this. No? It's going to be organized. It's like the questions are, it's not going to be like all over, no? It's always in order, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, etc. Try to don't take much time to respond the reading passage, because again, the time is not on your side. No, it's, you have to learn to manage your time, taking a look to the timer every now and then, and never get stuck. Don't waste too much time in just one question. If you don't know the answer, just choose whatever you think it's the best option. While you continue answering, at some point you might realize that your response is not wrong, so you can go back and change your response if you want to. No, but do not get stuck in just one question for too much time. Do not jump around. Always go in order, and you get a question, you get the options, you read it, and you have to answer. No, you have to do it right there. Do not leave any, or do not skip questions to try to find one that you know. No, just respond. And at the end, if you do it in the way that we are teaching you, you should finish or read a passage in 6 minutes, and then you should give no more than a minute to each question. No, if you give it less time, it's good for you, because at some point you might get to one question that it might take a bit more time. You know, it's kind of like you're saving time for some of these difficult questions or challenging questions. And if you follow that way, no, you have 6 minutes to read, 10 minutes to respond each question, and then you can have 2 minutes to review your response, because you can go back and check your questions, no, before you jump to the next lecture. So that's important to know this, okay? Esto es muy importante. Otra vez lo voy a decir en castellano para que se entienda. Bienvenidas todas. Traten de hacer la lectura en 6 minutos. Ya para esto deberíamos estar comenzando a leer, ¿no? Debería ser un hábito que ya están adquiriendo, porque otra vez el tiempo no está de nuestra parte, y lamentablemente si no hay lectura de comprensión van a tener problemas para responder y o entender. Por lo tanto, ya deberían comenzar a leer temas de todo. Si no es su fuerte, bueno, lean aunque sea cosas de farándula, de salud, qué sé yo, ¿no? Algo que les llame la atención, y vayan viendo, ¿no? Si tal vez en un texto aproximado de 700 palabras se puede leer en 7 minutos, entendiendo, ¿no? Entonces hay que ir practicando esto. No hay opción para leer 2 veces, por si acaso, ¿no? Estos 6 minutos es para leer una vez y ya. Si bien, si quieren, pueden tomar algún apunte, pero yo les recomendaría más que todo que un poco se enfoquen en la lectura de entender y no tanto en los apuntes, ¿no? Si hay algo necesario que ustedes vean, tal vez la organización, tal vez algo por ahí que digan, no, necesito, porque sí hay una pregunta de estructura, puede tener tal vez 2 subtemas o 3 tal vez, ¿no? Sí lo puedo anotar de repente, ¿no? Pero cosas muy concretas, muy cortitas, ya no más de... ¿qué más? Okay, that's all. Any questions? We're just starting. Hi, Roger, please turn your camera on. Okay, guys, let's continue. Carolina, let me know if it's your internet.
Yes, Miss.
Again, okay, it's fine, no worries. So this is what 700 passage looks like. No, it's quite long. So this is what you have to read in 6 minutes. Okay, so please start practicing as soon as you can. Again, you don't have to read, I don't know, articles about science or math or something that is too difficult to understand. No, start reading some topics that might be interesting for you, not about sports, anything. Okay, let's see. Really quick, we are going to summarize the type of questions. The first type of question, it is vocabulary question. This is the easiest one in my opinion. You basically just have to find a synonym of a word, but it has to be, the answer has to work in context and in meaning. No, it's not just the same meaning. No, it has to work in that context too. That depends if maybe they're talking about math or they're talking about biology. No, some words might have different meaning in different contexts. So pay attention to that. Really quick, let's take a look to an example. So this is what we've seen last class. Now, basically, the question is to find this, or what word of these ones is the closest in meaning of advance. Obviously, the topic is about is about history, not the decline of the Maya. So in this case, we already know what we practice. Not that the correct response was modern, was the closest in meaning, no, to advance, which you have it marked here, and you always get what paragraph you are getting asked about, ¿no? And it's always in order, ¿no? Tal vez la estructura en la que yo les estoy mostrando no va a estar en orden porque estoy yendo de algo más sencillo a algo un poco más avanzado tal vez, pero en el TOEFL siempre va a estar en orden. Yeah? Paragraph 1, maybe 1, 2, 3 questions, then it jumps, no? Paragraph 2, 3, etc. Okay, next type of question, detail or factual question. Here is basically just to find a piece of information. No, it's like an open question, if you want to call it that way. It's very frequent too, like the previous question. You can get either 2 or 4 per passage. And basically here we just have to find the keyword in the question, like what they are asking about, no? And then in the options, or the multiple option, pay attention and do not fail on the wrong detail. Sometimes they do that. It might look like it's the correct response, but some details in the option, the response might not be totally accurate. So I will take a look to that. Okay, so in this one was one type of question that we've seen already. No? In this case, the question was, what was the likely relationship between, so what's the keyword? No, it will be a relationship between the Olmec and the Mayan civilization. That's what we have to know. And obviously we had to have we had to understand or understood the passage, no, to respond. But and we already analyzed it, no? In this case was the third option. But it's basically an open question. No, it's basically just try to answer this question. It's nothing new. No, it's just a typical type of question. What is this? What is that? What is, no? And the response is in here. Question, responded. The next type of question is an except type of question. In this question, we get the word either except, or maybe we can get a not. And it goes like this. No, they're going to ask about what information is not in the passage. So how many times do we get this question? We get just one, and we answer by elimination of options. That means that, for instance, in this example, they ask about examples of the advanced nature of the Maya. Now this is the topic, no, if you want to call it. This is the topic or the question or the organization. Now they're talking about details. Let me know if it gets slow. Okay, I'm turning my Wi-Fi off. My cell phone, sorry. So here we have to find the one that is not an example of the advanced nature of the Maya. No, so that's the one we have to choose, not the one that is not an example or it was not mentioned as an example of the advanced nature of the Maya. We already did this question and we came up to the response that was the first one. No, this one was not shown here. However, if we pay attention and we take a look really quick, no, we might find the same word here. However, the information that is shown here is not accurate, it's not correct. It's basically a tricky type of question, no? They use sometimes words from the passage, but that's to confuse us. All right, you have to read and you have to make sure that the whole idea or response or option or sentence is correct. Now, if one detail is incorrect, that's the response that we have to choose. Not because they're asking about what is not mentioned. Which one of these examples is not mentioned? So that's the one you have to choose. Okay, any questions? Before we continue. All right. Okay, inference question. We've seen this before, but we haven't read it. So let's see. An inference type of question, or the word that itself implies something without saying it, but it's kind of like a conclusion, a summary of something. Now, in this case, you might get 2 questions per passage. And you basically, to answer the question, sorry, you have to read between the lines. No? You basically have to come to conclusion from the given information. Okay, so you have to infer. No, it's not like you are going to find the response, the exact words there. No, you have to understand the whole passage and come to a response or an inference idea on yourself. Okay, so this was the example that we've seen last class. So if I'm not wrong, well, I'm not sure if we read this paragraph, but we're going to do it right now. Let's see who can help us. I think, Rosa, you didn't read last class. Could you help us reading this passage, please? Or this paragraph?
Okay.
Thank you.
The pre-classic period of Mayan civilization began around 1800 before Christ, with some historians dating the era as far back as 2000 before Christ, and late only to 250 before Christ. During this time, the Mayans formed the basis for their culture through the development of agriculture, the formation of cities, and the construction of their first stone pyramids. While there is no conclusive evidence as to where the Mayan people came from, archaeological findings support they having burrowed in this beginning stage, and later refined their calendar, religion, and numbering system from the earlier Olmec civilization. Their earliest pyramids were also likely built upon Olmec precursors that had been fashioned out of mud. The first Mayan cities were established in the pre-classic period around 750 before Christ, with the lost city of Mirador believed to have been the largest. It is estimated to have held between 100,000 and 250,000 people, its size dwarfing even that of the largest classic period city, Tikal.
Okay, thank you very much, Rosa. So have you seen, you have a lot of maybe new, hard, difficult words, whatever you want to call it, no? It might not be a very easy paragraph to understand if you don't know all the words, or maybe if your vocabulary is limited. No, that's why I urge you guys to start reading as soon as you can. Usually in paragraphs, articles, research, any paper that you find that is like a proper document, if you want to call it like that, or maybe a thesis. No, usually is going to follow the same structure. No, a paragraph is going to have, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 ideas, and the organization is usually like that. No, it's not too redundant. It's like they're not going to repeat maybe the words too much. They're going to use linking words. So that's it. No, in this case, they're talking about the pre-classic period. In this case, this is like subtopic of the main topic. No? So it's starting to organize the ideas in different. Well, it's classifying the information. No, so for this, like they introduce the topic and then it goes, oh well, let's take a look to this subtopic, not the pre-classic period, and they give a lot of information, details, characteristics, features about it. So the question here goes, no, according to paragraph 2, what can be inferred about the pre-classic period of the Mayan civilization? So you have to understand the paragraph. If you haven't, it's going to be difficult for you to choose between the options, no? So if you understood the question, or the paragraph will be easy for you. However, if you get in a position where you cannot, or you don't know exactly, not try to read the options and try to choose the one that you believe is the closest one. Okay. So let's see, guys, what do you think? I've seen some of you while I was talking continue reading, maybe for a second time. What will you say? What can we infer from this paragraph? About the pre-classic period of the Mayan civilization. Their largest pyramids were completed during this time. Tikal was its largest city. Pyramids built during this time were made from mud, or there is some disagreement about its exact start. What do you say? Let's see, maybe you can write your options in the chat. Okay, Camila, great. Camila said it's the last one. There is some disagreement about this exact start. All right. What do you say, Rosa? What do you think? Do you agree, or you think it's another option?
Yes, I agree with that option.
All right. Thank you very much. What do you say, Caroline?
I think the last one.
All right. What about you, Andrea?
Yeah, me too. The last one.
All right. Who else is here? Roger? Fabiola, what do you think?
I think the last one as well.
All right. What about you, Fabiola?
I didn't finish now, but sorry, I didn't finish.
Okay, you didn't have enough time to choose one option. Okay, that's fine, no worries. So let's see. Yes, it was the last one. No, and obviously that nowhere here is going to be mentioned. No, that there is some disagreement. No, you had to read between the lines. No, you had to understand the paragraph to come out with this response. No, so this type of question might take a little bit more time. I'll ask you in a little bit, Andrea, okay? So it's important, sometimes, well, I'm going to put it this way. Sometimes it might be easy, the topic, maybe the structure of the paragraph or the information that is shown, but in some cases it might not be as easy, or maybe our vocabulary is a little bit limited. So if I don't recognize all the words, I'm not going to understand, no? And if that's the case, reading or feeling like you need to read this to understand that is a waste of time, to be honest. No, do not fall into the trap of like thinking, okay, well, I didn't understand the first time, maybe nothing, and oh well, let's read it one more time now. No, if you have not understand the first time, it's probably that the second one you might not either. No, so if it seems like too difficult, I might just try to take a look to the responses and choose one option. No, do not read each of the paragraphs while you're responding. You're not going to have enough time at the end. You're going to be taking time out of the your other passages. ¿Ok? Entonces, por favor, sé que pasa, a mí igual me ha pasado que ven, ¿no? Y dicen, uy, no, sí, a ver, leeré una vez más y así quiero leerlo rapidísimo y de pronto la primera vez ni entendí muy bien y estoy intentando entender palabras que ni reconozco, ¿no? Si al final igual sé dentro mío, ¿no? Que siendo honesta conmigo mismo, que hay muchas palabras que no las conozco, no sé su significado. Leyendo otra vez es una pérdida de valioso tiempo que puedo utilizar tal vez para otra pregunta, ¿no? Entonces, si me hace el resumen, ¿no? Si me parece chino, no lean otra vez, porque capaz ni a la segunda van a entender y tal vez a la tercera recién, pero ya iba a pasar ¿cuánto? 2, 3 minutos, ¿no? Entonces, lo ideal es que vayan al ritmo, 1 minuto, no más de 1 minuto por pregunta, ¿ok? Porque si no les va a faltar tiempo, lamentablemente. Okay, so that was the fourth type of question. Let's see that fifth one. This one is called purpose. Oh, sorry. Any questions in this type of question? All right. Next, fifth, purpose or function questions. In this type of question, we have to ask why certain information is in the text. So we are going to get a why. No, you might get one, or maybe you won't get it. This question at all. It's not very frequent. So you have to take a look to the overall picture. No, again, you have to understand the paragraph to respond to this question. And it's a why, no? Why the author used this word, or why does he mention something? No, but it's always going to go this way. No? Why the author, and then they're going to complete the idea. So that's all. Any questions? Let's see an example. Okay, in this case, we are with paragraph 1 again. Again, no, this is not in order because I changed it, not because it's going to be like this. No? So probably we don't remember. Let's read it one more time. Let's see if Fabiola, can you read this paragraph for us, please? Thank you.
Sure.
We cannot hear you, Fabiola.
Sure. The Maya of the Yucatan Peninsula were one of the history's most advanced civilizations. Their cities and pyramids were architectural marvels, and they have mathematics advanced enough to develop the concept of 0 centuries before it came into common usage. Independently of the other mathematically advanced cultures such as the Sumerians, they were also consummate astronomers, having devised an accurate 3,065 days calendar. And perhaps most importantly, especially for historians, they devised a written language that was used to record their advancement. But for all that is known about the Maya, the precise cause of their demise remains in mystery. Yeah, I don't read mystery.
Yeah, mystery.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Fabiola. Okay, reminds mystery. So you might remember some of this. Now we've seen the first class, the last class. So in this case, yes, if you want to review really quick the information, you can. No, it's short. They're asking about something that it's marked here. No, you might not remember. So here, yes, we could take a look really quick. No, because the question goes, why does the author? No, that's the type of how this type of question starts. No, how does the author use the phrase? And it's going to be marked like this. No, especially for historians in paragraph 1. So in this case, yes, really quick, you can go and try to find a period before this yeah, and then quickly read it. No, so you can read it from here until here. Let me know if you cannot hear me, and that should give you enough information to respond. Okay, so you can do this right now, guys. You might already did it. So why does the author use this phrase? No, to point out that a writing language will be important for historians to understand the Maya, to establish that historians are especially important in our understanding of the Maya, to show how much historians have written about the Maya and their culture, or to show that the historians find the Mayan writing language unusually interesting. All right, Camila is responding. What do you say, guys? Roger, what will you choose?
I think it is the first one, Miss.
All right, thank you very much. What about you, Carolina?
I agree with my classmates.
All right, great. So yes, it was the first option. In this case, it wasn't as hard. Yes, we can take a moment really quick to read this idea, but not read the whole thing. No, maybe you can read from, like I mentioned, a period until a period. That's all, no more than that. And really quick also. No, remember, you just have 1 minute per question. And yes, it was easy, no, because we could have checked. In this case, and also this paragraph is not as complicated to respond. So that's a good thing, no? Any questions then? Here is basically why the author is mentioning, and it's always going to be like a little part, a little extract from the paragraph. Any questions, guys? All right. Next. Paraphrase questions. All right. In this type of question, let's see. What does the word paraphrase means? What will you say?
Maybe in Spanish, parafrasear, right? Like,
Yeah, but in your own words, what will you say?
like reward, maybe.
Okay, rewrite. Yes, it could be restate, no? The sentence in different words. So it's basically put the same idea in other words, no? So in this type of question, don't choose the answer that are missing information. They do that all the time, guys. They put like a little word that you might recognize, but the whole idea is not correct. No, the whole have to be correct, not just a little part. Also be aware of switch roles and relationships. They do that. They put something that it seems true, but it's not sometimes, no? But you have to read it to understand it. And well, okay. Yes, okay. So in this type of question, it's always also going to be marked, no? A little extract from the passage. Let me change. Sorry. So in this case, we're seeing paragraph number 6. No, and let's see. Camila, could you read a question, please? Thank you.
Yes. Which of the sentences below best expresses the essential information in the highlight sentence in paragraph 6? Incorrect choices change the meaning in important ways or leave out essential information.
Excellent. I wonder. So it's saying here, no, incorrect choices change the meaning in important ways, or is going to leave out this essential information. That means that the correct response is going to be like whole. No, it has to point out or mention the important or important or keywords. No, we just have to pay attention in this point here. Now, this is what you have to pay attention to. But because we haven't read paragraph 6, we're going to read the whole thing so we can understand, because we haven't read this one, no? So let's take a look who can help me. Andrea, could you read it, please?
Okay, the Yucatan rainforests only receive rainfall once per year, and the Maya plan around this seasonality of water. Scientists have recently discovered that the 9th century experienced a sustained drought in the Yucatan, with the anecdotal evidence based on the examination of 3 rings in Sweden ironically. Several cold spells in northern Europe happen to be closely correlated with drought in the Yucatan. Further evidence has been collected from mud deep beneath the blue hole of Belize, from which core samples show solid proof of drought at the time.
Excellent, thank you very much. Could you read the highlight part one more time, please?
Okay, scientists have recently discovered that the 9th century experienced a sustained drought in the Yucatan, with the initial evidence based on the examination of 3 rings in Sweden ironically.
All right, that's all. Thank you very much, Andrea. Great. So we have to pay attention to this, no? And then we get 4 options. Now the question goes, which of the sentences of these sentences below best expresses the essential information of this idea, or, well, yes, it's a sentence or a statement. So which one will you say? Think. Scientists in the 9th century discovered that the Yucatan had a long period of drought that was based on 3 rings in Sweden. Drought, by the way, is sequía, no? 2. 3 rings in Sweden provided scientists evidence of an extended drought in the Yucatan during the Mayan Classic period. 3. A link between Scandinavian 3 rings and drought in the Yucatan in the 9th century was surprised Swedish scientists with its irony. Or 4. Counterintuitively, the evidence of drought in the Yucatan comes mainly from 3 rings in Sweden. All right, Camila is mentioning it could be the 3rd one. What do you say, guys? Perhaps it's the 3rd one. Could be. What do you say, guys? Rocío, what do you say? Rosa, sorry, Rosa. Which option do you believe is correct?
I'm not sure. Of
right?
Is the.
It's very confusing, no? Because they all have a piece of information that is mentioned here, but you have to choose the one that best expresses the idea and keywords, no? If something important is not being mentioned on the response, it's probably not correct. Carolina, what do you think? Which of the options is correct?
I'm not sure, but I think could be the 3rd one or the last one.
Or the last one. All right. Let's see who else. Andrea, what do you say? Which option?
It's the 3rd one.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
Like, I discard options because don't can't be the one, because said scientists in the 9th century and said that discovered this event in the 9th century, but not the scientists in the 9th century. And I saw in old sentence. So yeah, I think that it's the 3rd one.
All right, let's take a look. It was actually the 2nd. Why? Yes, Camila.
Sorry, yeah, I wanted to say that because I was between the 2nd and the 3rd one, but yeah, because of in the 3rd paragraph, it said Swedish scientist, so I was not sure if there were Swedish scientists. It just said scientists, but in the second one, just said Mayan classic period. But I didn't remember if the 9th century belongs to the Mayan classic period. So that was confusing. But yeah, because of the third idea, where I thought we were a whole idea better than the second one. But yeah, that mistake with the Swedish scientists, maybe.
Yeah. As you can see, they do that. This is done in purpose, no? So you can get confused. That's why, well, obviously you have to be very concentrated reading, trying to understand, no, this extract. And you also have to read all the options carefully, no? Because obviously, if you are maybe a little bit stressed or nervous, now you might get overwhelmed with all this information. Or maybe you're taking a look to the timer and you're running out of timer, you are going to get stressed, no? So the thing here is to stay calm, take a deep breath, and try to read the response, and just choose the one that you believe it's more complete, if you want to say. So in this case was the second one, that because of the information it was better shown. So this was the type of, any questions maybe? All right, so this one was a paraphrase. No, basically try to put this highlighted statement in other words, no, which is going to be shown here, and you choose the one that is correct, no, or you believe it's correct. Okay, next type of question, it's reference question. In this case, this is one of the easiest one. No, they basically going to ask about this, they, it, him. No, what does it or this or them it refer to? So to respond this, you can do basically what we did in the last two questions. Now read one or two sentences before the pronoun. No, these are the pronouns and examples of pronouns. No, and replace the pronoun if you want to make sure that the response is correct. You replace the pronouns with one of the, well, with the chosen with the option that you believe is correct. Okay, let's take a look. In this case, I didn't get this question in the example that I've been working with you guys the whole class. So this one is going to talk about another topic. It's talking about expression of emotion. So it's a psychological paragraph. No? So here, let's see. Who can help me? Camila, could you read the question and the options? And then from here, please.
Okay. Why does this, they, it, him, etc. refer to? Read one or two sentences before the pronoun. Replace the pronoun with your choice.
Yes. In this case, it was them.
Okay.
So we will have to go back one or two so we can go here. Okay. Can you read from here until
in classic? Okay. In classic research, Paul Ekman took photographs of people exhibiting the emotions of anger, disgust, fear, happiness, and sadness. He then asked people around the world to indicate what emotions were being depicted in them. Things photograph?
Yes, that's all right. What did you say?
I thought, well, it's photographs.
The response. Okay. So how can we make sure that our response is correct? You replace them with your option, your response. So could you read again the whole thing and replace them with photographs? If it makes sense, it's correct. Camila, could you read one more time, please? From here?
Okay.
Here? No. And instead of saying them, you say photographs.
Okay, in classic research, Paul Ekman took photographs of people exhibiting the emotions of anger, disgust, fear, happiness, and sadness. He then asked people around the world to indicate what emotions were being depicted in the photographs or on the photographs.
Excellent. So it makes sense? Yes, because he started mentioning or talking about photographs at the beginning. Huh? So that's a way that we can make sure that our response is correct, and it didn't take much time, no? Maybe less than a minute, so that's enough. So any questions here? All right, so usually this question, we're going to get it correct either way. So let's continue. I was photographs. All right, next type of question, insert text question. This one, we have to decide where to put an additional sentence. So we are going to get different numbers in a paragraph, and there we have to like put an extra information in one of them. Sorry. Usually you get one per passage, no more than that. And we have to pay attention to the connecting words, pronouns, transition words, and topic words. So a tip, also try to insert your response in every space to pay attention to the text structure. You can read one sentence before and one after. Okay, so let's take a look. You might not be understanding very good, but let's take a look. Okay, so here we have these squares, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, which is A, B, C, D, no, A, B, C, and D. So it's saying, look at the 4 squares that indicate where the following sentence can be added to the passage. So it's basically this sentence, where can it go and make sense? No, here, 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 or here. And to make sure that it goes there, you can read one sentence before and try to put this idea, and if it makes sense or no, and continue one after too. If it makes sense, it should go there. If it doesn't, it should. You take a look to the next square, or here, or here. All right, so let's see. Roger, could you read the paragraph, please, until here, please.
All right.
Thank you.
The most popular theory ascribes the decline to fighting from within. In fact, there is some evidence of internecine warfare, but there exist other possible catalysts as well. Another theory is that the overdependence on just a few crops inevitably depleted the soil of its nutrients. The effects of soil overuse will have been compounded by the fact that farmers had to strip the forest of trees to make room for their ever-growing fields of corn. These unsustainable farming practices may have led to famine and conflict. Overpopulation is another possible culprit, as Mayan cities were exceptionally dense, with some estimates as high as 2,600 people per square mile.
Awesome, thank you very much. So basically, now we have an idea of this paragraph, and now we have to put this sentence either here, 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 or here, and see if it can belong there. All right, so I'm going to read it and you tell me, okay? Let's see. In fact, there is some evidence of internecine warfare, but there exists other possibility catalysts as well. And then I'm going to introduce it. No? Rainforest earth is already not very nutrient dense. Does it belong there? Yes, no? Let's continue. Another theory is that the overdependence or just a few crops inevitable depleted the soil of its nutrients. Rainforest earth is already not very nutrient dense. What do you think? It belongs there? No? Let's continue. The effects of soil overuse would have been compounded by the fact that farmers had to strip the forest of trees to make room for their ever-growing fields of corn. Rainforest earth is already not very nutrient dense. These unsustainable farming practices may have led to famine and conflict. Rainforest earth is already not very nutrient dense. Overpopulation is another possible culprit, as Mayan cities were exceptionally dense, with some estimates as high as 2,600 people per square mile. So where would you say, guys? Where it belongs, this sentence? Someone is writing in the chat. Okay, Roger says B. What do you think? Camila, what do you think? Carolina? Fabiola? B, all right. Rosa, Andrea? All right, great. Camila says B. C, sorry.
C, maybe.
In this case, it is B. Why? Because we have one keyword that is repeating, so it makes sense that it's like, it has harmony, if you want to say. Let's see, in B. No. Another theory is that the over-independence on just a few crops inevitably depleted the soil of its nutrients. So it's already mentioning nutrients, not in soil. And then continue, rainforest earth is already not very nutrient dense. So it's continue the same topic, or the same topic idea. And then it continues, the effect of soil overuse would have been compounded by the fact that farmers Lola. So it was B. No, we have to pay attention to that, to some keywords, or maybe some key or word topics, I don't know. But that's what you have to pay attention to. No, it's not like you're going to just put this because it sounds good. No, we have to have some words that are going to be mentioning to follow the same idea. All right, any questions? Okay, so let's try to finish this on time. All right, so it's basically just put an idea, no, and a sentence in one of the options. No, and how do I make sure it is correct? I read one sentence before and one after. If it makes sense, it belongs there. If it doesn't, I should keep continuing. But try to do this quick too, no? Try to respond as fast as Roger did. Okay, the next type of question, you either get this last question, the last two questions, you either get one or the other one. In this case, summary. If you get summary, you won't get this next type of question, which is a categorized question, okay? So in summary question, they basically ask you to summarize main ideas of the passage, no? This is usually the last question, unless you get the other type of question. You get one or another, you don't get both. And it has a higher score, okay? And obviously you have to have understood the whole passage to respond this, because this is summary, no? You're summarizing the information. And don't choose less important details. Okay, let's take a look. This obviously is also about another passage, no, but the instruction is usually the same, no? In an introductory sentence, for a brief summary of the passage is provided below. So this is an introductory sentence that is summarizing the passage, but it's an introductory, that means that it's a first sentence to summarize the passage, no? This is complete the summary, so I'm going to complete this idea by selecting 3 answers choices that express the most important ideas in the passage. So I already have the first one, so I'm going to choose another 3 that are going to help me summarize the whole passage, okay? And this question is going to be 2 points. Usually each question is 1 point, but this one is 2, okay? And you also get the passage again. However, you're not going to read it at this point, no? So just read the first passage, and obviously we're not going to answer this because this is about another topic. But this is the first summarizing idea, and you have to complete it choosing from these 6 options. You will have to choose 3 more. Okay, so you leave the other 3 out. Okay, so any questions in this one? Básicamente estás teniendo, o les van a mostrar una idea que introduce al resumen, ¿no? Y sobre la base de esta idea, que más o menos tiene una estructura de resumen sobre el tema, que en este caso es otro, obviamente, porque a mí no me ha tocado esta en la práctica, tengo que escoger otras 3. ¿Ya? Y igual las otras 3 ideas están resumiendo a nivel a grandes rasgos el passage, y esta va a valer 2 puntos. Entonces simplemente escojo 3 ideas que yo considero que van resumiendo de la misma idea que hace esta oración, ¿no? Y bueno, de esa manera se responde. Any questions? Para que pasemos a la última, tenemos los últimos 3 minutos. All right, and finally, no, if I didn't get this type of question, if I didn't get summary question, I'm going to get the other one, which is category question, okay? So here, basically, you have to match or categorize information into larger topics. So you might get 2 topics or subtopics, and you have to like put some information that belongs here and in the other one. Let's categorize, basically. And it's usually the last one unless you got the previous one, ¿no? Entonces siempre, si les toca la de resumen o summary, no les va a tocar esto. Si les sale category, no les va a salir la de summary. No es una o la otra, y es siempre la última pregunta. And the order doesn't matter, no, it's simply categorize the information. And you might want to look back at the passage. If you have time, you can do it. And you may need to match small details to larger topics. Let's see an example. Oh, look at the one that stands out. Okay, let's take a look. So, oh, sorry. So basically here, they are talking about, well, we haven't seen the whole passage, no, but the 2 subtopics were pre-classic period and classic period in Mayan civilization, no? And they're basically asking us, no, from these options, which ones goes here and which ones goes here. However, they are saying, well, we have to drag, no? Jalamos, movemos. And it's saying, select the appropriate phrases from the answer choices. These are the answer choices. Below and match them to the Maya periods with, to which they relate. 2 of the answer choices will not be used. So it means that I have to leave 2. No? Here I have 2, 4, 6. So 2 is going to go here. 3 are going to come here, and then I'm going to leave 2. ¿No? Hay una más aquí abajo que no se ve, lo siento. Pero al final dejo 2. ¿No? Siempre me va a indicar cuántas tengo que poner aquí, cuántas aquí. Y aquí ya me está diciendo que tengo que dejar 2 que no van a ninguna de las 2 categorías. Okay? In this case, this question is 3 points. No, it's 1 extra. Por la dificultad, digamos, ¿no? Entonces, por eso les decía, cuando están tomando apuntes, si ustedes ven, bueno, no es necesario que tomen muchos apuntes, ¿no? Porque se tienen que concentrar en la lectura como tal, pero mientras ustedes están leyendo, ven aspectos importantes que les gustaría anotar, tienen que ser muy concisos, muy concretos, y yo les recomendaría que estén relacionados con esto. Si ven, digamos, un subtema, anótenlo, ¿no? Si ven algo importante de eso, tal vez que se quiera poner, lo pueden hacer, sin embargo, no se comiencen a escribir ahí un testamento, ¿no? Eso de repente, ¿no? Para que se entienda, ¿no? La clasificación, los subtemas, si hay algo tal vez que han leído y, bueno, han llegado a una conclusión y así muy rapidito pueden anotar, bueno, pero traten de concentrarse más en el tema como tal, ¿no? De repente, si quieren adelantarse un poco a esto y tratar de ir poniendo cosas importantes que identifican en cada uno, pueden hacerlo, pero recuerden que no siempre les va a tocar esto. Tal vez les toca summary, ¿no? Pero igual me puede ayudar para eso, por ejemplo. Entonces, los apuntes siempre tienen que ser muy cortos, ¿no? Y no repetir ni copiar lo que ya está ahí, porque acuérdense, siempre van a poder ver todos los párrafos. No es que no los van a ver, los pueden ver. Sin embargo, leer ya saben que implica un tiempo, que puede ser que yo le esté quitando a otras respuestas o preguntas. Ok, entonces eso sería todo. Esa es la última pregunta, las últimas 2. No sé si tienen alguna pregunta. relacionado. Mientras voy a ir pasando la encuesta diaria. Por favor, somos 6 estudiantes. Voy a ir sacando foto de la lista. Vayan respondiendo, por favor. Paul. ¿Qué más era, chicos? No, ¿quién era? Perdón, Andrea. Lo más pronto posible, por favor. Si puedes, tiene que ser con el número de bot, que creo que la mayoría tiene. Si no, me puedes escribir, le puedes escribir a Melissa, yo te ayudo. Pero lo tienes que hacer lo más pronto posible. ¿Ya? Tenemos 6 personas. Excelente. Thank you, guys. Eso sería todo. Muchas gracias.
Goodbye, Miss. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a good
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Pregunta, yo no sabía que había que dar, o sea, algún examen, entonces, ¿cómo lo doy o cómo es la cosa?
Sí, tienes que irte a executiveenglish.education.com. Te voy a mostrar rapidísimo. Lo que pasa es que ahorita tengo otra clase. Y lo que tienes que hacer es revisar los videos de conectores. Y te vas al punto 3, apoyo académico, y aquí tienes videos de conectores. Y los tienes que revisar los 3, y bueno, qué raro que no te hayan dicho, pero generalmente se inicia el curso con el examen. Si no pasan el examen, a lo que tengo entendido, no pueden iniciar el curso. Así que dale una revisada a los 3 videos, por favor. Te lo voy a pasar por el chat. Ay. Y nada, revisas eso y hay un número de boot. Si lo puedes escribir a Melissa, ella te lo puede pasar. Y nada más, ahí te va explicando el boot. ¿Tienes dudas?
Ya.
Igual Melissa te puede guiar un poquito.
Ya lo voy a copiar esto.
Sí, la página, pero es Executive English Education. Y te vas al número 3, apoyo académico.
Ya, sí, no sabía, pero ya, o sea, lo voy a dar, ¿no? Pero
Claro.
igual creo que ya está terminando el curso, entonces.
Sí. Tienes que revisar los videos antes de darlo, pero.
Ya.
Entonces, ok, thank you. Bye, Andy.
Bye.
Bye, bye.